Look at your dog and you'll catch yourself asking it. Some moments he seems brilliant. He reads exactly what you want before you say a word. Other moments he's chasing his own tail or barking at the vacuum like it's a burglar. So which is it? Is your dog actually smart, or are you just projecting seeing a genius that isn't really there? It feels like a fair question. It's the question everyone asks. But it's a trap. Because hidden inside "how smart is my dog" is an assumption that quietly gets everything wrong. And once you see it, you'll never look at your dog's mind the same way again. Your dog isn't dumber than you think. He's smart in a way you haven't been measuring at all. How smart is my dog? And science does give you a tidy answer. The average dog understands about 165 words and gestures. Psychologist Stanley Coren estimates the typical dog's mind is roughly comparable to a 2.5-year-old human child. It's a comforting answer. It puts your dog on a ladder you recognize, the human ladder, on a step somewhere down near a toddler. Smart, but in a small way, a junior human. And that answer's everywhere. Dogs are as smart as a 2-year-old. You've heard it 100 times. But to see why it's wrong, we have to meet the smartest dog ever studied. Because even he breaks the ladder. His name was Chaser, a border collie raised by a retired psychologist named John Pilley, who wanted to find the outer limit of what a dog's mind could hold. He worked with her for hours every day, for years. And Chaser learned the names of more than 1,000 different objects. Not just words. She knew nouns and verbs, so she understood not only which toy, but what to do with it. She grasped categories. Ball wasn't one object. It was a whole class of different balls, of every size and texture. More than 1,000 words. Roughly the vocabulary of a 3-year-old child. By the human ladder logic, this is the top of the class. The smartest dog we've ever documented, standing on a high toddler step. But here's where the ladder cracks. Because if Chaser really were just a 3.5-year-old child, then everything else about her mind should have been at that level too. It wasn't, and that mismatch is the whole secret. In human children, cognitive skills climb together. A child with the vocabulary of a 3-year-old usually has the logic and memory of a 3-year-old too. Not perfectly in step, but far more evenly than you're about to see in a dog. Chaser didn't work that way. Her vocabulary reached a 3-year-old's level, but almost nothing else about her mind climbed with it. She learned words by the thousand, yet showed little of the generative language and broad abstract reasoning a human toddler is already reaching for. One tower shot up, the ground around it stayed low. A child's mind rises together. Chaser's mind was a completely different shape, spiking high in one area, flat in another. She isn't on a low rung, she's not on our ladder. So, your dog is as smart as a 2-year-old is worse than inaccurate. It forces a dog onto a ladder he was never standing on, which leaves a strange and better question. If your dog isn't on the low end of our ladder, what's on his? Because he has one. And on his ladder, he beats us. Here's where your dog outscores you, genuinely, measurably. Point at something across the room. A human baby, barely more than a year old, follows your finger to the spot. Your dog does too, instantly, naturally. But a chimpanzee, our closest relative, an animal that crushes dogs at logic puzzles and tool use, a chimp will just stare at your finger, confused. Your dog reads a human gesture that our nearest evolutionary cousin cannot. And it goes further. Your dog reads your face, your emotions, where your attention is pointed. Abilities aimed entirely at one target, understanding us. In this specific kind of social intelligence, your dog outperforms chimps, outperforms wolves, and in the moment-to-moment reading of you, often outperforms the other humans in your life. That's not a low rung on our ladder, it's the top rung of his. A whole different tower of intelligence, built for a whole different purpose. And this points to the deeper mistake underneath all of it. We keep talking about intelligence like it's a single quantity. One number, high or low. Even in dogs, researchers have stopped measuring it that way. A test battery called SmartDog measures 7 separate dimensions: social cognition, logical reasoning, impulse control, spatial problem solving, and more. A single dog can be gifted in one and average in another. Intelligence was never a number. It's a landscape. We already know this about people. You can be a mathematical genius and hopeless with people, or brilliant with people and lost at math. Nobody's intelligence is one number. So why on earth did we try to squeeze the whole of a dog into a single one? So stop asking, how smart is my dog? It's the wrong question. It assumes a single ladder of intelligence with humans at the top and your dog somewhere below us. That ladder doesn't exist. Your dog is not a downgraded human mind. He's a different kind of mind entirely. Give him your tests, abstract logic, language, mathematics, and he failed. Give him his own tests. Reading a human, cooperating across species, mapping a world in scent and memory, and he beats you easily without trying. The real question was never how much intelligence your dog has. It's which kind. And once you ask it that way, your dog stops looking like a slow child. He starts looking like a specialist, a genius at the one thing he was built for. We measure intelligence by resemblance to ourselves. The more like us a mind seems, the smarter we call it. That's why we instinctively rank a chimp above a dog. The chimp looks more like us, solves puzzles more like us. But your dog isn't trying to be a lesser version of us. He isn't a failed human. He's a masterpiece of being a dog. And part of that mastery is a skill we don't even have: the ability to read another entire species, us, better than we read ourselves. So maybe the real intelligence test was never how well the dog performs our tasks. Maybe it's how well we can see him, on his terms, on his ladder, in his kind of mind. And by that test, we've been failing for a long time. So the next time your dog does something that looks dumb, chases his tail, pushes a door he should pull, barks at nothing, smile, but don't call him stupid. He isn't taking your exam. He was never on your ladder. And the next time he understands you completely, reads your mood before you've said a word, knows you're sad, knows you're leaving, knows you before you know yourself. Remember what you're actually watching. That's not a 2-year-old. That's a mind that spent 15,000 years becoming an expert in exactly one subject. You. Your dog isn't less smart than you thought. He's smart in a way you were never trained to see,